Hi friends, it's Ashley and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you 6 cozy fantasy books that are coming out this April. And as usual, we'll be talking about these in order of release date from soonest to latest. Book number 1 comes out on April 7th, and it's The Impossible Garden of Clara Thorne by Summer N. England. So our main character in this one is Clara, and after a lonely childhood, she is finally living out her happy ending as a magically gifted gardener for the town of Moss. However, one day the goddess chooses Clara for an important quest, and that is to travel to the cursed town of Dwindle and grow them a garden in less than a month. However, there's a problem with this, and that is that Clara has been hiding the secret that her magic doesn't work outside of Moss. And add to that the goddess has assigned the absurdly sexy, annoyingly cheerful Hesper Altenfall to keep her safe. And one of the things that is annoying Clara about Hesper is that they keep insisting that her magic is tied to her heart and not her home. However, despite Clara's misgivings, the two of them are going to have to work together in order to save the town of Dwindle from an ancient evil. Book number 2 comes out on April 14th, and it's Stay for a Spell by Amy Coombe. So our main female character in this one is Princess Tanadel, and she is tired of being a princess. She's over it. She wants the chance to build a life of her own making and also just uninterrupted reading time. And one day her dream comes true because on a routine visit to the small town of Pepperidge, she ends up finding herself cursed to remain in a rundown bookshop until she unlocks her heart's desire. So she is over the moon about this situation because now she can just spend her time among books and just read to her heart's content. And the only thing she really has to worry about is this pirate who keeps showing up and trying to steal her books. However, her parents, on the other hand, are not happy about this at all, and they are desperate to break this curse, and so they end up sending prince after prince to try to woo her because they believe that a kiss from a prince will break her curse, because after all, what more could a princess want? Book number 4 also comes out on April 14th, and it's Must Love Lies and Lavender by Maisy Magill. And this is the 3rd book in the Moonshine Hollow series, but it's a series that's made up of interconnected standalones, so you don't have to read them in order. And I've actually read the prequel to the series and then book 2, but I haven't read book 1 yet. And I adored both the prequel and book 2, and I do have plans to read book 1 at some point, but I've been saving it for a certain reading blog I want to do. And so all these books take place in the cozy small town of Moonshine Hollow. And so in this one, we're following Juniper and Granick. Juniper runs the apothecary, and Granick has a farm, and he's an orc, and he also grows lavender on his farm. Two of them are the best of friends, and so when Granick is in trouble because orcish customs say that he should marry a wife, the Juniper jumps in to try to save him by proposing that they pretend to be engaged. However, it turns out that in orcish culture, engagements are binding and there's no such thing as fake. And so now they're in a little bit of a pickle. And the description of this one says that it is a spicy, cozy fantasy romance full of farmcore vibes, gentle magic, mischievous shrieking goats, and a love story that will warm your heart. Book number 4 comes out on April 21st, and it's Thistlemarsh by Moorea Corrigan. This one takes place in a world where fairies suddenly disappeared over 100 years ago. And our main character in this one is Mouse, and she always had dreams of becoming a fairy anthropologist. However, she puts those dreams aside after a battle, ends up leaving her brother with debilitating shell shock. And so now she is determined to take care of her brother. However, Mouse then receives the news that her uncle has left her the fairy blessed Thistlemarsh Hall, a dilapidated manor in the English countryside. But the only catch is that she has to restore the manor in a month's time, or she forfeits her inheritance and the means to care for her brother. And this seems like an impossible task. That is, until a mysterious fairy appears and offers to restore the manor for a price. And Mouse knows that she shouldn't make a deal with the fairy, but at the same time, she doesn't really have any other options. And so she makes a deal, and our story goes from there. Book number 5 also comes out on April 21st, and is Second Time's a Charm by Taylor Epperson. So this one, our main character is Reese, and 3 years ago, she left behind her gossiping hometown and her childhood sweetheart who broke her heart. And so now she is running a magical flower shop with her best friend. However, one day she ends up receiving a letter that says that she has inherited her father's sanctuary for magical creatures, and so she heads back home. And when she gets there, of course, she ends up running into her ex. And it turns out that he has become a part-time assassin, and then things do not get better from there because running the sanctuary does not go smoothly at all. And Reese finds herself dodging fire-spitting chickens, poisonous porcupines, and bolting after a runaway raccoon. And add to that there are also poachers lurking in the shadows, and the sanctuary is in a lot of debt. And so she will have to end up teaming up with her ex in order to save the sanctuary. Book number 6 and the final book on this list comes out on April 28th, and it's Death Meets Cute by J. Penner. So this one sounds absolutely delightful, and I'm going to read the description for this one. Iris Wayward wants to be bad, truly bad, terrifyingly, gloriously villainous. But after helping her sisters unleash a spell to throw the realm into chaos, Iris is left feeling strangely empty, and not at all like the villain of her dreams. So she sets off for the quaint town of Fraywell to build her wicked legacy alone. Things start promisingly: a crooked little cottage, a reputation for curses and potions, and a healthy dose of fear from the locals. But when her ogre bodyguard disappears, Iris needs new muscle. Good thing a fearsome orc just toppled over in her yard. Naturally, she decides to reanimate him. It's a perfect solution. Only Talon isn't the brooding warrior she was hoping for. He's gentle, he bakes, worst of all, he's nice. But Iris can't possibly have a thing for her new employee. She's supposed to be the most wicked witch in town. While Iris struggles to turn Talon into the enforcer she deserves, her sisters arrive seeking help. Their magic is fading, and the cause may be closer than any of them realize. The timing couldn't be worse, and falling for an orc wasn't supposed to be part of her villain era, but love might turn out to be the best spell she's ever cast. Alright, so those are 6 cozy fantasy books coming out this April. Let me know down below which ones caught your eye. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye!